Back in January 2020, I received my first tank from Custom Reptile Habitats and absolutely loved it. Fast forward to August that year and we had the keys to our first house where we were designing our reptile room. That's when myself and Paul from Custom Reptile Habitats decided we needed a wall of Leopard Gecko tanks. As well as that, we were also talking about putting together a starter kit, as he had done one with Snake Discovery, as you may know, and I was very honoured to be given the opportunity. The room was literally designed around these 4 tanks, and by 2021 I had Gizmo's tank. And now in 2022 we finally have Minnie and Maui's tank. Not only that, but these will be part of my official Leopard Gecko starter kits in collaboration with Custom Reptile Habitats. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, where today I'll be unboxing, building and finally revealing my new official Leopard Gecko starter kits. We have a variety of options to fit everyone's needs for a premium high quality Leopard Gecko enclosure that will last. If you want to see what the kits include as well as how to put them together, then keep watching. Now, if you buy one of these kits, you'll get a few boxes. One will have the actual enclosure in it, one will be a decoration kit if you selected that option, and you may even have one for the hood. Now, when you first open a box, you should see instructions and everything is labelled, which makes putting this tank together super easy. Now, I started by putting together the stand, spacer and hood. These all go together in a very similar way. So my tanks would originally just be placed on the floor and I wanted them to be lifted, so we do have a stand for that. But if you have a rack or a table or a desk that this tank is going on, you should be fine. The spacer is needed if you are going to stack these enclosures, because evidently they can be stacked and it's nice and secure. And the hood is optional, but it is used to hide all equipment, and personally I prefer that look. The only difference between putting together the hood, spacer and stand is the spacer and the stand come with this extra piece of PVC which needs to be stuck down. This just gives it extra support. The kits do usually come with animal safe silicone, however I'd already bought 3 tubes of silicone sealant that I use with all my reptiles, so I just got them off Amazon. I'll leave a link below. I do find it's better if you have more silicone than not enough. Next up, let's build the actual tank. So I was going to do one at a time and then I realised they're super easy to put together at first. The tanks literally consist of aluminium framework and PVC panels, so these literally just knock in and slip into place. One tool you will need though is a rubber mallet. That does not come with the kit. So both these tanks are suitable for a Leopard Gecko. One is 3 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, the other one is 3 foot by 2 foot by 1.5 foot. So once the back, bottom, top and sides are all in place, we then added these rubber pieces with this cool tool that comes with the kit. This kind of stops everything from shaking. It really keeps everything nicely in place. Now, we don't want to add the front of the tank on at this point. Now, if you do want a more in-depth step-by-step guide to how to put these tanks together, I will leave a link below to the video I did on that. Once the rubber bits are in place, we want to go around the bottom with silicone and up the sides a little bit. Silicone is the bane of my life, and it's probably my least favourite part of the build, but if you want your tank to be watertight enough to be bioactive, then it is best to do this part. Now for the backgrounds. So this kit will come with 3 different options. The first one is what we did in Gizmo and Diego's tank, where we had 3D background, 2 flat sides, and then you can silicone on faux rocks. We are looking at 2 different options in today's video. One of them did not go so well. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, at least we can cut that off with...
Yeah, but it's going to expand more, isn't it?
Oh no. We'll get into that in a moment. Trust me, we are going to be fixing that. But first, let's look at Maui's background. So this consisted of 3 flat pieces that we cut ourselves that were simply siliconed onto the background and sides. And once again, when dealing with silicone, things take time, so we would add one on, put a bunch of weight on it, leave it for a day. So doing these 3 sides took about 3 days just because we wanted to make sure everything was stuck down. The kit also comes with these rock granules, which add natural colour, so we would use this and silicone to fill in the gaps where the background and the sides met. This takes a bit of practice to get right, but essentially you could throw the granules on, or you could use a paintbrush to dab it on. What I will suggest is buying some cheap brushes, because although the kit does come with one, once that silicone is on the brush and it dries, you need to either cut the bristles down or throw it away. So I just want to take this moment to show you up close some of the rocks that we're going to try to use in Maui's tank. So obviously we've just got the flat background, we've got the blank canvas, and when you have this you can be as creative as you want. There are these really large ledges which I imagine will probably do best on the background, and you can decide how high or how low you want them. A tip I'll give you though is don't put them too close to the floor, because once you have the drainage layer and the substrate and you want to put hides in, they may become a pain. So maybe midway up this will work. We also have smaller variations, so these can work on the side of the tank or to sort of build up that rocky area. Now these kits do come with rocks that are meant to be ledges and go on the background, and rocks that can be sort of decorative or you can turn into hides. So the main way to tell the difference is the ones that will go on your background are a lot lighter in weight because they have this foam in them, so that's a big giveaway. And you can put sealant around here, which I'll show you in a moment how we do that, but yeah, you'll notice the main thing is the weight difference, so these can easily go on the background and they aren't gonna fall off. So this is an example of one of the decorative fake rocks, and as you can see it doesn't have that foam in there, it's just resin, and some of these are pretty heavy, and it's good because your gecko's never going to knock them over. And what you can do, you can place them around the tank to make it look more natural, or you could cut a hole and turn this into a hide. So I left this for a day and a half, and as you can see the rocks are still in place and they look cool. So what we need to do now is blend them in. So what we're going to do is take some silicone around the edge of each of the rocks, and I tend to do this only on the top of the rock. I don't bother with the underneath because you won't really see it, but we just take it around the top, smooth it out, and then to blend it in we take the rock powdery things that come with the kit, and that just helps it blend into the background. Once everything was done and the front of the tank was added, I went around the bottom with a thick bead of silicone to ensure that it was nicely in place, watertight, and no insect, dirt or gecko would manage to get up behind the background. And yeah, that was Maui's tank done. Pretty simple. The same can't be said for Minnie's. Now the tank itself, absolutely fine, went together perfectly, but when it came to the three-sided amazing looking background, which I thought would be, you know, very simple, slot in place, a little bit of silicone here and there and you're ready to go, I soon realised that wasn't the case with this background. So basically the back of it was not flat and required expanding foam, clips, and a lot of manoeuvring to get in place. So I did give Paul my feedback on this, and we agreed that this background needs improvement before it's part of my kit. So right now as I make this video it's not included in the kit, but once I fix it, once we get it to be improved and it easily slip into place, then it will be, because really I wanted an option where if you didn't feel confident enough putting together your own background, or maybe you just don't have the time, then this was going to be the easy option, and it looks amazing. But yeah, it didn't go well. I had a few meltdowns, but we will improve it before it goes in our kits. Oh no. Oh no. I think it's going to pop off. What do we do? Eventually, once the expanding foam held everything in place, we could add the front of the tank on, and like in Maui's tank, I added a bead of silicone around the bottom and up the sides. I also went back with silicone and some rock granules to cover up the corners where you could see the expanding foam, and a few places where expanding foam had dropped on and left marks. When we were finally done, I added the extra piece of PVC on both of the tanks. So this goes on the bottom, just like the spacer and the stand, and it allows for extra support. Now, once again, the kit does come with animal safe silicone, but since I already had a tube open, I just went ahead and used my own to hold these in place. And in total, I did actually use all 3 tubes of silicone, as well as 2 cans of expanding foam. Though I hope once we fix a three-sided background issue, installation will be far easier, and hopefully no expanding foam will be required, because that stuff is messy. So we are finally done, and not only am I going to give you a little tour around each of the tanks, but also compare them to the old ones because some things have changed. So let's start off with Minnie's tank. Now I did go ahead and put these doors in, so this is on the hood, and also the spacer has them too, and there have been some changes. So as you can see from the previous one, we have new handles. Also the previous one was on wheels. Oh, I need to change the battery on that one. But this one is not, and it's actually kind of quieter. So if you did see this here, this is a thermometer and hygrometer. It literally was working yesterday, but basically I use that to kind of have the ambient temperature and humidity because I have a separate one for over the heater. But you can of course install this to go in your basking area. But yeah, so I installed that one. I also went ahead and installed the LED. Now these LEDs, the Jungle Dawns and the Pro T5s can all link up. So this is actually linked up to Gizmo and Diego's. Essentially at the end of this I'm going to have 4 LEDs and 4 UV lamps all linked to one plug, one timer, so that will be cool. But now for Minnie's tank tour. Now of course this isn't complete. I will be doing a video where I actually, you know, do the whole sort of building the tank of substrate, drainage layer, plants and all sorts. But this is how it looks for now. As I said, this will be part of the kit once it's fixed, because this one I thought was going to be the easiest background to put in, just slot it in, silicone. It was messy, as you saw. It was very stressful, and I honestly didn't think we were going to be able to complete this because the sides bent in so much. But once it's done, it looks amazing. So once Custom Reptile Habitats and Universal Rock figure out how to do this in the most simplest way, so you could literally slot this in, it will be included in the kit, because honestly, in real life, it looks amazing. And if it was easier to install, it would literally be like the easiest thing to automatically have this amazing landscape. Now down here we have Maui's tank. Now in comparison to Minnie's, this doesn't look as cool, but like in real life it kind of does. But it isn't just, it doesn't look as professional because I did it. It is also bigger, so it's 2 foot high instead of 1.5 foot. So this is the 80-gallon tank, the one above is the 60-gallon. So with this one, I actually didn't mind doing this because it didn't take as long as I thought it would, and the rocks it comes with are really cool. What I need to finish off doing is sorting out this background, like where they blend in. I still need to work that out, but in the room, okay, it doesn't look that bad, but now I just compared it to Minnie's. It doesn't look that great, but hopefully once we put stuff in, it will. Like, okay, honestly, this doesn't look too bad in real life, but now it looks bad on camera. It's kind of cool because you get to customize it. And I know Maui likes to climb, so I wanted to make sure this was at a safe distance, but also it will allow him, because this tank is so tall, he will be able to get closer to the UV, because if he's down here, he's getting none. As I said in the review, like, I like the black look, but you can, because of the PVC, you could technically wrap this in something if it fit in your room a bit better. But yeah, I absolutely love these. It did take me a bit longer to build, but we did have 2 tanks to build at the same time and limited space. But yeah, I will leave links below if you want to check out Custom Reptile Habitats or the new Leopard Gecko kits. But thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.